Good morning, this is Jennifer Ozuna with Lazy Keto Living. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'm so excited. This is the first video I've done where you actually get to see me cooking. Usually I'm talking to you, or I just put a video of what's being cooked. And the main reason why, I have a house full of kids, and my kids are at school. Hallelujah. I don't know how many of y'all are so excited to have your kids back to school. I love my kids dearly. I really do. But I have to say, I also love a quiet house. So, without further ado, let's get started. Today, I want to make a cheesy grits for you. I've been working with hemp seed for a while, and the particular one that I usually buy is just what I find at my local HEB. Here in Texas, that's our main grocery store. I really love hemp seeds. I have added a little section in this blog post. Go check it out. It's another little video on hemp seeds and concerns for them, whether or not you should feed them to your kids or not. So check that out. I'll put it in this blog post. Hemp seeds. I love hemp seeds. There's a couple reasons why. First, they take on whatever flavor that you give them. So I can make them sweet, I can make them savory. I've made this cheesy grits dish with shrimp on it and eaten it that way, and I loved it. I've also made hot breakfast cereal. In fact, I have a blog on that with a recipe, and I'll link it below in the video notes. The other reason I love hemp seeds is that I get 7 grams of fat per serving with hemp seeds, and I only get half a gram of carbohydrate net. They're 1 gram of carbohydrate and 0.5 grams of dietary fiber. So you subtract the two to get your net, and I happen to count net carbs. Now, those of you that count total carbs, this is excellent because it's so low. There is no net carb counting hardly because it's just half a gram of dietary fiber. The other thing I love about it is that it's got great protein. It's 5 grams of protein per serving. And typically a serving is only 1.5 tablespoons. Most of my recipes that I use hemp seeds in, I treat it kind of like rice. So I'm using, half a cup to a cup of hemp seeds in my meal, and then it typically will make maybe 4 servings. So, you do the math, 1/4 cup per person. It's not too much more than that 1.5 tablespoons, but it still gives you a feeling of being full with a grain, and it adds variety to our diet. With low carb eating and keto eating, we don't get that grain texture very often. So that's really why I love hemp seeds. So what I'm going to do to make cheesy grits is I've got 1.5 cups of water. I'm gonna go ahead and start this. I'm gonna put my burner on high because I do need to bring it to a boil. I'm going to start out with 1 cup of hemp seeds. So my full cup measurement won't fit into this bag, so I went ahead and grabbed a 1/2 cup measurement. So I'm going to take 2 flat 1/2 cup measurements, and I'm going to add them to my water, which is starting to boil. The hemp seeds, you don't have to really cook them. They're not going to absorb a lot of water. Your chia seed will do that. So really I just get them in there so I can get all the flavors together. I am going to stir this. And it is starting to do a slow boil, so I'm going to let it go. Remember, I need this to be a little bit more thick once I'm done with it. At this time, I'm also going to add the salt. Like I said, I'm going to start out with a 1/4 teaspoon. I may up that to a 1/2 teaspoon. In fact, I believe I probably am going to. This recipe makes 4 servings, so a 1/2 teaspoon is not a whole lot of salt for 4 people. So I can up that to 1/2 teaspoon and it'll be fine. The next thing I'm going to add are the chia seeds. So I'm going to do a 1/3 cup of chia seeds. Now this is meant to be a really quick meal. It's a great breakfast for those of you that like a savory breakfast. You can also do this as a dinner side. You can throw shrimp on it and make it a full meal by itself. However you want to do this. Okay, so I've put in the chia seeds, and this is going to thicken up fairly quickly. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit to more of a medium. It's already starting to get thick. Let it go some more. It's boiling, so I'm reducing the heat a little bit more. It's probably to like a low right now, a low medium. And now I'm going to put in the cheese. I'm going to eyeball this. I'm thinking it's going to be about a quarter cup, or excuse me, about half a cup to 3/4 cup. So I'm going to do 3 small handfuls. That'll be about what I'm looking for. And then I'm just going to stir it in and let it melt up. You can hear it. It's going quite well here. You want to keep stirring it, not only to incorporate the cheese, but also to keep it nice and even in consistency. Right now, I don't know if you can see this, but it's a pretty good consistency. I'm going to go ahead and add the butter, 3 tablespoons of butter. That should melt fairly quickly. I'm going to turn this off. It's pretty much done. The only thing I need to do is taste it and see if I need to add any more salt to it. All right, I'm going to taste it here and see what needs to be added. It tastes really good. I can definitely taste the cheese in it. I do want a little bit more salt in it, so I'm going to add another 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I expected that was probably the case because I remember when I made this the last time, I salted it more after I got it on the table. Now often when I make recipes, what I do is I just throw things in and I kind of keep notes and decide how much of everything that I put in there, and then at the end I'll go back and calculate all of the calories and the fat content and stuff, and that kind of fits in with my lazy keto lifestyle. Like I said, I'm not strict about those things. I just really try to prioritize fats, and I really try to minimize my carbs. Kind of watch my protein a little bit just to make sure it doesn't get too low, and then I let it go. That's my way of doing things, and I find that because I do it that way, it's sustainable. It's something that I enjoy, and it's something that I can do. But oftentimes when I do my food this way, especially something that's easily stirred in a pot like this, what I'll do to just make sure and see how many servings I had when it's all done is I'll go ahead and put it into a measuring cup like this so that I can see how much I get. And it'll give me an idea of how many servings and how much per serving. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now, and it'll also give you a chance to see maybe a little bit better what it looks like. And I will definitely post a photo on my blog with the cheesy grits all plated and everything, because they are so delicious. And now I will say, I'm from Texas, so I'm not like deep south southern, and some of you may be looking at this going, what on earth is that girl doing? Because those are not cheesy grits. And if that's the case, then hey, keep exploring and figure out your own recipe for cheesy grits. But this, for somebody who is not raised on cheesy grits, this is excellent to me, and I enjoy it, and it gives me variety in my diet, which is what I need to make sure that I don't opt for rice Sunday, because I'm just having a hankering for a grain and not wanting to have just more meat and vegetables. So this is a wonderful recipe. I did serve it to my husband, and he He also liked it, and I'm gonna have another bite of it because it looks really good right now. Adding the salt was right. So it made probably about 2.5 cups. So you could do a little over a 1/4 cup serving, and this is gonna be very filling. So you don't really need a whole lot more than that. And now I know whenever I write down everything for the recipe, how much a serving will be. So that's how I do it whenever I come up with my own recipes, if you ever want to come up with your own. So thank you so much for sticking with me and watching this video on making cheesy grits using hemp seeds. I hope you enjoyed it, and you have a great day. Bye.